Dolly here. Welcome back to Gypsy Rose Papery. I thought I'd give you something pretty to look at while I'm doing my intro this morning. I am holding my camera in one hand because we are going to be going out and about picking some flowers and then flash pressing them. And so thank you to everyone who responded back on my Instagram post and wanted to see how I flash press. But we'll start off with picking out flowers and we'll move from there. So I'll see you in a little bit. So now I'm home and I'm just showing the different flowers that I picked. You're going to want to separate them into like thickness. For example, these pansies are very thin compared to like the jasmine, which is a lot thicker. It would take a lot longer to flash press. So you just want to keep that in mind when you're kind of pairing them together to get ready to get them sorted onto the paper towel. So you're going to want to set out 2 layers of paper towel to kind of pick up any moisture, and this is where you want to arrange the flower how you're going to want it to look when it's pressed. Like for example, I like mine to look open like this, and so that's how I'm gonna kind of train it to lay it down. Just press on it softly to kind of guide it, and you're going to want to do that with all your flowers, just however you want to see them. Once they're pressed, that's how you want to kind of lay them out on the paper. Once you have all your flowers arranged, you're going to want to take an additional 2 layers of paper towel to place on top. And then I just place the whole thing directly onto the microwave plate because it's nice and flat. You just want to make sure you check them before you lay the weight on top. And I like to use something heavy. In my case, you're going to see I use a trivet like this one. You can also use tile or anything that's heavy and that's microwave proof, that's not going to crack on you in the microwave. You'll also want to press down once you have your weight on top, just to kind of squeeze any excess water out of the flower first. It will definitely speed up the process and it will keep your flower from curling up on you, so just press down a little bit just to make sure. Have it in the microwave and it's centered. I like to start off with 2 minutes just as a base time, and then here I'll show you you increase by 30-second increments. Just make sure you're checking in between those increments and making sure the flour doesn't burn. And again, also the kind of flour that you're pressing will affect how much time. And if your house is anything like mine, you will have an audience. And yes, I know I have a lot of children's. They like to watch me do everything. And here I'm just checking for moisture on top. If there's moisture on top, then I know they're not ready, because that means the flour isn't completely pressed, obviously, because there's still moisture there. So I just try to take a peek and kind of see where we're at. Like that one is pressed, but the other one in the back is kind of stuck, which means it needs more time. And again, this is a trial and error process. It depends on the flour, it depends on your microwave. You just kind of have to learn the process first, and then as you go, you will be able to better calculate times for each individual flower. So once you've taken them out of the microwave, just be careful when you're removing the weight off of the paper because it's heavy, and also because it's very hot. So you know, do use something to protect your hands. And when you're peeling off that top layer of paper towel, just do it nice and gently, just in case there's anything stuck still to that top part. But as you can see here, they are fully pressed. Just being super duper careful to not kind of rip that off, and I just like to feel them with my finger just to make sure they really are dried out. If you feel some tackiness here, you're going to have a hard time pulling it off the paper towel, so that means you need to add additional time. And again, I can't stress enough that this is a trial and error process, and the first few times it may get a little frustrating and you may even lose some specimens, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy. And you'll also become familiar the more you do it with the kind of flower and the thickness of the flower and how much time those flowers take. When you're ready to remove the specimens, put your hand behind it and peel it off like I did with this one. You will have some trouble with some will get stuck. As you can see here, I struggled with this one and actually it ended up getting stuck to the paper towel. So just keep that in mind and don't get frustrated. You will lose some specimens, it's just part of the process. And this is the second batch that I pressed, which just for time's sake, I didn't show you the whole entire process, but you can see the jasmine is still stuck, and I knew that one would take a little bit longer because it was super thick and full of water. But the other ones came out great, and I'm so happy with my little specimens. So this is the final lineup. It is a process of trial and error, so I did lose two of the specimens because they were just too thin and they got stuck to the paper towel. But again, it would depend on the flowers that you're using and how much water content they contain. Basically, that would determine how much time you would spend pressing them in the microwave. And so one extra step that I do after I press my flowers is I like to laminate, and that is because I don't always use them right away and I don't want them to get lost. And also, even if you press them, they're still super fragile, so you're just going to want to keep them somewhere safe if you're not going to be using them. If not laminating, then like an album or something, or a notebook. But I use the Apache Laminator. It's pretty cheap and I've gotten a lot of use out of this laminator, and I will link that down below for you guys. And then the sheets that I use are these, and I just got these at Walmart, but I'm sure I can find them on Amazon for my international friends who obviously don't have Walmart where they are. So I will link these down below as well. So a tip on laminating: you want to make sure your surface is nice and clean, because once you open up the sheet, there is static there and it kind of acts like a cling. It will absorb any kind of hair or anything else that's lying around in your area. And then you want to turn the machine on because it does take a while to be ready. And then this is really hard to do one-handed, but I'm gonna arrange them. You arrange them, what you want to keep in mind is spacing, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, and I'm sorry for the glare, but here you can see that I've allowed a lot of space in between the flowers because I don't know yet what I'm gonna do with them. I may want to cut them out like a fussy cut, I may want to do a square, I may want to punch a circle out around them with them inside. So I'm just kind of planning ahead as far as spacing goes. So okay, and so here are the finished specimens, all laminated and ready to be stored. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini kind of tutorial slash craft with me. I'm not sure if I can call this a craft with me, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.